Hello, and welcome to the first part of a three-part series where we're going to take a time machine back to 1999.
Dark time.
A very dark time for the Star Wars fans. But in the future, there'd be something to save us. And we're going to talk about the two movies side by side. So stick around. $1999.
It was a year of many hopes. Many hopes. Started in 98.
Yeah.
Then we got built up and we were buying our Star Wars Insider magazines and we were reading everything we could find. And for the first time in my entire life, I bought a Vanity Fair magazine. I never thought that would happen, but I did it because it had pictures of episode 1. Now, Rob and I come from an era where the original trilogy is everything.
Yes.
And many of us thought that we would never see another Star Wars film. I mean, in high school, we talked about it, we joked about it,
Right.
watched the old films, played with the old toys, whatever. But we never thought, I know we didn't. I know we never thought we would see another film,
Oh, no.
you know?
We had no experience to go
Correct.
off of. Star
Correct.
Wars was such its own creature
Yep.
that it was blazing the path.
And it was rumored forever. You know, whatever episode, we didn't even know then it was going to be an
Because Mark
episode
Hamill,
1.
right out of the gate, was like, "Oh, George has all these planned and this and that." So that was always in the back of our minds
Yep.
when we'd read them in our old sci-fi rag magazines or
Starlog.
fanzines. Yeah, exactly.
So finally, though, we got the 25th anniversaries.
Yes.
And we were excited because we got to go see the original Star Wars films in a new way in theaters.
Yes.
And that was kind of cool. That was really fun. I mean, it was like reliving your youth again. And then Phantom Menace gets announced, and it's confirmed, and it's going to happen, and the trailers dropped on Entertainment Weekly, and we watched it, and we were taping it, and we were so excited. I mean, you have no idea. And then we stayed camped out and got tickets and got what? 4 showings? Right? 3 or 4 showings?
At least 3.
Okay.
At least 3.
For the first film.
And I have very fond memories of the camping out portion, so it's pretty
And
sad
even the
that
day
it's-
of seeing the film.
has a
I mean,
stain on it,
we all
right.
crashed together. We all hung out for that day. You know, there was a lot of great things, buying toys. There was a lot of fun things that we did, you know. My
Buying a
wife
Darth
was
Maul.
pregnant.
Yeah.
And sat with us to get these tickets. Pregnant with my daughter, who's now almost 18 years old.
Yeah.
So, you know, there was a lot of great memories. Don't get me wrong. It was fun. It was a great time. I mean, we had a lot of fun together.
But this movie puts a stain on that year.
Yeah.
And, okay, we know that there's a lot of people that this was their first Star Wars and they love it.
And good for you. I'm glad.
Good for,
I'm
I've,
glad.
I've come
Absolutely.
around to like them to a degree now. But you have to imagine we came from a world where there was no Star Wars.
For a very long time.
For a very long time. Any information we could get was from a Dark Horse comic
Absolutely.
book, a role-playing game
Yep.
supplement.
I mean, there wasn't an
And-
expanded universe yet.
Right.
You know, it was Timothy Zahn's books, Dark Horse Comics. There was only a handful. It isn't like it is now. You know,
Exactly.
You know, we bought everything we could get our hands on because that was the only thing you could get your hands on. So we read them. We enjoyed whatever we could do. We role played. That was a big thing. We bought video games, played pinball machines, whatever that had the Star Wars moniker, logo, what have you. So 99 was great because we got new Star Wars shirts. You know, we got new Star Wars toys. We got new Star Wars. Pardon?
So don't remind me, because the whole T-shirt machine, Darth Maul.
Mm-hmm.
You're so excited. You're
Yep.
You have the figure, you have the T-shirt, you have a hat.
The blow-up
you have-
chair.
You have a big honking thing that's supposed to go on a cup of Pepsi from Pizza Hut.
Yep.
And then you see the movie, and you get so angry.
Well, I don't think that's fair. Because we saw the movie the first time at 12:01 midnight. We saw the midnight showing, and I don't think it really set in
It did not set in.
that
no.
that this movie was bad. It wasn't until probably the third viewing.
Yes.
Now, part of that was we saw it 3 times in 24 hours.
I would say we did it to ourselves.
We did.
But
We did.
you can see that it's a very large census of people that despise those movies.
Mm-hmm.
All from our generation, mostly.
Mostly. I agree. It seems to be a general consensus, So, and that kind of left a
void.
It did leave a void. It really did. I couldn't have said it better. It left a really big void for us. So it was kind of...
There was no excitement for the next one. Right off the gate, at least.
No.
Until a trailer, but even that, I mean...
So we kind of hem-hauled around. We got through the rest of 99. We got through 2000. And then something interesting happened. Christmas of 2000, I can't even remember what we went and saw. But we saw the trailer. It's just a teaser trailer.
Yeah.
And it was 2 rocks. And it was Ian McKellen. It was Gandalf the Grey. Emerging from 2 rocks. And then there's what ended up being Sean Astin, Elijah Wood. Here's this whole entire just teaser. And that's all it was. We had no real full concept. I mean, we knew the books. Of course we did. We're gamers. We know this stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it just ended. I remember we all kind of looked at each other and said, man, that actually looks good. We had heard rumors of Lord of the Rings, but none of us had anything. It wasn't on our radar. I mean, it wasn't like we were dying to see it, though. I mean, it wasn't like Star Wars. We didn't camp out to get tickets. We didn't, you know what I mean?
No, definitely not. But I do have, like, a very bad admission, though, that...
We all thought it was going to suck.
Well...
We did. John Rhys Davies as a dwarf.
Lord of the Rings and the Dungeons and Dragons movie were both announced around the same time.
That is correct.
And my ass...
And here's the interesting thing. And here's the interesting thing. Most of the executive producers and most of... It's even the same studio, Time Warner, okay, were a part of both films. The difference between the two is Jackson and Weta Workshop. Okay? So if you look at some of the behind the scenes of the Dungeons and Dragons films, a lot of the people that were involved with Lord of the Rings were involved in that film. And you really wonder, wow, how come that film wasn't better? You know? But I agree with you. We were definitely probably more excited for that.
First photos from that.
With Jeremy Irons and...
Well, not even that, but the dude that played
the dwarf. Yep.
And it's like, wow, that's a classic dwarf. Awesome.
Now, meanwhile, though, we're getting stories about Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
John Rhys Davies is playing a dwarf. And at that point, it wasn't Viggo playing Aragorn. It was the guy from... I don't know. He was...
Tom Selleck.
That would have also been cool. But no, Ian McKellen was probably the biggest name because he had just played Magneto. Okay, yes. And we knew that he was going to be Gandalf. We knew Sean Astin, which really I only knew him from Goonies and Rudy. But we knew he was going to be Samwise. We knew Elijah Wood, who was famous for being that dark-haired kid in that other Macaulay Culkin film.
Hey, The Faculty. That came out before this.
That did. You're right about that. I forgot about that. But yes.
That's a great horror movie.
That is a great horror movie. And a very young Josh Hartnett. But this was kind of... We didn't really know these characters. You know, we didn't really know these actors as these characters. And a lot of the, of course, actors, we didn't even know of them. We didn't even... Right. You know, Viggo Mortensen, prior to that, was that guy who played Satan in The Prophecy.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, he'd been in a bunch of stuff. I shouldn't have... You know, but that's more or less
high profile.
No, at all.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? G.I. Jane, he was the petty chief or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But I didn't even see Fellowship of the Rings opening night. You guys did. You and 2 of our friends went and saw it. And then we had gotten together shortly after that, And
I think I was speechless.
you
honestly.
were. I mean, that's all you guys we talked about for like an hour was, you're not going to believe this film. You're not going to believe this film. And sure enough, my wife and I go and see it. And my wife, which we've talked about many times, and your wife's not too terribly different, isn't really into a lot of this stuff.
Right.
But she honestly said that was a really good film. Oh my God, we got something to really be invested in.
Yeah.
We've got something that was really good. And of course, the merchandise machine starts coming out for Lord of the Rings. So we had our t-shirts. Some of us had prop swords and axes and, and but it did something really good for us. It totally revitalized our gaming.
It did.
It really did.
It came out around the same time third edition came out.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Perfect timing, as a matter of fact. And we jumped into it, and it led back to us getting together every weekend, and
I'd say for the first time, our complete fandom beings were
fantasy.
fantasy. Yeah, we had our feet on the ground opposed to in space. So it it really drove us in a different direction.
And it got us through, and I hate to say it this way because we're not like a 5-step program or something here.
No.
But it got us through a dark time because it really
did.
Star Wars really kind of shit on us. At least that's how we felt. You know what I mean? We really felt
Definitely,
betrayed.
yes,
You know what I mean?
yes.
We really did. We did. It was just unfortunate. But Jackson got us through it.
He did. I mean, when the trailers even started coming out for episode 2,
Ah.
yes, there was excitement there.
There
because
was,
now we have
but it wasn't-
clones and flashy stuff, and oh look, there's Jango Fett, But it was like a different thing. It was not, we need to be there as soon as the doors open. It did not, it was not, I can't even say this, but because we
We
still
need to have this conversation on episode 2.
Yes, we do.
We do.
So stick around for part 2. Keep being rad.
And stay dorky.
See you for part 2.